everybody. Welcome to the Mindful Classroom. Today, we're going to just do a short meditation. It's going to be one relevant to where we live, or at least where I live, depending on where you're listening from. Sorry about that. But in some ways, we all find whatever our connection is to the water, being around the water, just the calming sense of going to a lake or sitting in the beach listening to the ocean. Those sounds of waves can be very grounding and soothing and bring us back. Similarly, we can look at the range of our emotions in a sense like the movement of the ocean. And the work today is going to be for at least 10 or 15 minutes, just try to regulate that up and down so we kind of get to an even sense and work on that ability to incorporate a calming nature when things are most frantic and just to really bring ourselves back to center. So find yourself a comfortable place to listen to this. You can sit down, which is probably preferred. You can lay down. The problem is if you're lying down, you run the risk of falling asleep. And while that's a wonderful thing, it's really not the purpose of what we're trying to do here. But however you're most comfortable, you don't have to aggravate yourself. You can sit in a chair, you can find a mat, you can sit cross-legged, or you can find a bench, and they have kneeling benches. You have to find what works for you, but get yourself into a very comfortable position. Try to keep it so your feet or legs are in contact with the ground. Your back is straight, not rigid, but just you want a straight position just to let that flow of energy go better. And as we begin, you're going to hear a bell. And if you're comfortable closing your eyes, you can close your eyes as the sound of the bowl drifts down, and then I will begin. So get yourself into a comfortable position. Close your eyes if you're comfortable with your eyes closed. If that makes you uncomfortable, just focus on a place in front of you. Soften your gaze. And the first thing we're going to do is take 3 deep grounding breaths into our stomach. So take a deep breath in. Let your stomach expand. At the top of the breath, just notice the pause. And then actively exhale. You can exhale through your mouth or nose, wherever you're most comfortable. Take another deep breath in. Again, see the full range, the pause at the top, and then breathe out. Take a third deep breath in. And this time as you breathe out, really settle in, let your shoulders drop, let your face muscles relax. And now for a minute, we're just going to allow ourselves to return our breathing to normal. And this time it helps to find a place to focus on your breath. Maybe that's your stomach as it goes in and out. Perhaps it's the air entering your lungs. Or maybe it's even the air as it passes underneath your nostril. Just find an area where your breath is most prevalent and focus on that area. You can do this for about a minute. If while you're doing this at any time you find thoughts come into your mind, be gentle on yourself. It's a natural process. And in fact, the awareness of those thoughts is the true moment when you are mindful, when you are aware of your thoughts and not just letting them control you. So treat those thoughts that are like a cloud in the sky. You can acknowledge it and then just let it drift by and come back to a clear sky. Now, from following your breath, we're going to do a small visualization. I want you to take a moment and picture the ocean. Get as clear a picture in your mind as you can. The waves moving as the water rolls and drifts. Maybe even hearing the sound of the crashing waves. Try to even take a breath and smell the salt air that you would smell around the ocean. Now, as you picture the ocean all around you, imagine you're on a small boat by yourself, sitting in meditation, in the ocean. And you can feel the movement of the waves. You can feel the boat gently rocking as the water moves in and out. Feel the boat move with your breath. And now imagine the water becomes a little bit more turbulent. And the boat's movement is not an easy, calm rocking, but a very distinct up and down and movement back and forth as the water gets a little bit rougher. And you're riding through this. It's harder to focus on your breath. It's harder to be in the moment. Your attention now is on the turbulent movement of the ocean, and as the boat is rocking you back and forth. Try to really sit with this motion, imagining it, and do this for about 45 seconds. Now, as you decide you don't like this motion, it's too much, it's taking your attention away, you can't focus, you can't enjoy being on the water, slowly focus your attention to the ocean and in your mind, calm it down. Gradually feel the boat rock a little bit less. Your sense of grounding is a little bit more. And that rocking turns to just a swaying. And then you gradually bring it back to just calmly floating with the slightest sense of movement as the boat just drifts on a calm ocean. Taking our time, we're coming back to that calm ocean. And now, for one more minute, focus on your breath as you sit on this calm ocean and visualizing the smell of the salt air, a gentle, almost soothing cradling as the water just kind of moves slightly back and forth, and you can hear it lapping on the boat. Now, we're going to allow that visualization to slowly drift away until you come back to the room you're sitting, and it's you and your breath. And we can even very quietly in our mind say in on the in breath and then out on the out breath. Just an in, out. We're going to sit with our breath for a minute. When that minute's over, you'll once again, like the start, you'll hear the gentle ringing of a bell, and that'll be your invitation to open your eyes. You can open your eyes, take a nice deep breath to ground back in the now. And that boat exercise is a wonderful example of our control of our mind. Our mind is like that ocean. Sometimes it gets incredibly turbulent, and we think that there's no way we can stop our worries or stop just fixating on whatever we're thinking about. But in fact, with intent, coming to our breath, we can slow down that rapid motion of our brain and just get ourselves back to a calm, more rational, and more logical place. So anytime you feel like things are out of control, take that boat out on the ocean, you can take a couple deep breaths and let it get as rocky as it wants to be. And then slowly let your mind calm it down and bring it back to a peace and a tranquility. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a beautiful day. Before you sign off, take an inventory and think of 3 things in your life for which you're grateful. Practice gratitude, my friends.